What's up, guys? We are looking at the dummy FCU today. This just dropped not too long ago. Want to just show you the features that it has and how you can turn this small little polymer piece into a full setup here. So again, it is not an 80%. It is not a functional. There's a trigger in here, but it don't work. It don't do anything. The slide doesn't rack. Yeah, it's just kind of hold your spare parts together. These are all spare parts. There's nothing in here. It can't shoot. Same with all of them on the wall. They all have dummy FCUs in it, and they are just boom. Let's just look at it real quick and show you the features that it has. All right, guys, this is what will come in the product. You'll get the dummy FCU. This was obviously, I've been using it quite a bit, and you'll get a metal pin to keep it retained. So, and this is just some parts I have laying around. I'm gonna go ahead and show you first off, the trigger, you don't have to do any of it. You don't have to put a trigger in there. It's static, it's just for aesthetics. If you're looking to display it maybe on a gun wall or whatnot. So to get the trigger in there, this is our trigger. It'll work with SIG trigger also. I don't know beyond that. So basically you're gonna just line this up right here, push it in, and the first time it might be a little hard. You might wanna tap that. It'll be a good tight fit, no movement, and now it's in. Ba-boom, ba-boom. I got some lubricant over here on this guy. And then you're gonna just take your frame. It'll work with any frames, Macro, 365, XL, SAS, Wilson Combat, metal frames, any of them. And then just like a normal FCU, you're gonna drop that top in first so that it engages the little detents up front. And then you're just gonna push it down like that. Bada bing, bada boom. And go ahead and throw in a pin. Going to push that down. We got our FCU contained, and not always need to put the pin in, but if you're going to hang that perhaps for Cerakote, you don't want that to possibly fall out. So there we are, FCU's in. You can go ahead, I'm gonna show you a couple ways here. You can run it with, if you just have an extra slide, you don't have extra barrel, guide rod, you can put that in, it'll slide pretty far back. If you line up the back here for Cerakote, you can kind of put your thumb on the FCU or the dummy FCU and then line it up flat. You should see on the macro frame anyway, a slight protrusion up front, everything's aligned. I should go grab the multicam black that matches this. We'll do that towards the end. I just wanted to bring the Coyote one. It kind of helps things pop when everything's black on black. So there you go. You can run it without a barrel. If you have spare barrels, spare parts, then go ahead and you can go ahead and put those in. So I'm just gonna put that back together. There we are. And then just slide that guy on. I'm gonna zoom out just a hair, guys. Go ahead and put that guy back on, and it should line up right where it needs to be. You won't go back any farther. You can't pull the trigger. You can, if you're going, again, if you're displaying it, you can go ahead and throw a mag in there. And this is not a gun. This is not legally, technically a firearm. This is a paperweight. But I would not go out in public with this, as they will treat it as a real gun. So, little word of caution there. And so the barrel, the slide stays on pretty good. Like I could probably get it to fall off if I shook it, but we have a little detent on this side that ends up lining up right with that part on the slide so that it tries to retain it to a degree. But yeah, that's all we're doing, guys. It's just a dummy FCU. Got another one right here that allows the barrel and everything else, all the components to come together without it actually firing. We also will have this shortly for the 320 here. This one has a dummy FCU in it, but because of the takedown lever, it is rackable. There's no trigger. You can drop a trigger in. Same thing if you have spare parts. This just happens to be a slide I had on a Raider. But yeah, it's basically the same thing. Show you, this is an early prototype. Should be ready in about a week or two, just a dummy FCU, and then. So that's what we're dealing with. Let's go ahead and show this. So bam, got the Cerakote frame that matches the slide. Show you how that lines up. I have most of these I just have dummy FCUs in it. It's great to play mix and match too if you want to kind of see what things will look like without having to swap the FCU every single time. Go ahead and do this. So I actually had the Cerakote guy using this to line up the stickers when he was doing it. So if you look, it's pretty good match there. It's hard to get a good camera angle. Considering it's camo, it's not supposed to be, but you see the easiest ones to see are these black. They line up perfectly. The green ones, they line up, but all the edges are at weird spots. So that edge goes like that, circles up to there, comes back down a little bit, goes back over. So everything's lining up really good. So it's a great match. And so that's kind of one of the features is, you know, Cerakote professionals can use this, use our dummy mag. So they have handles, use the tools that we have to make that easier. We've also heard back from holster makers that instead of having to put an FCU in every single setup to do a final test fit, so they're making a holster for an XL, but their one FCU that they have is on a macro. They have to take it all apart and go set it up again. So this way you could just have the parts and run it. Or just keep these dummy FCUs in all your frames, and if you only have one slide, swap them around real quick. So that's kind of what we're thinking about, guys. Let us know in the comments if you find other uses for a dummy FCU. Again, it's not a functional thing, so I get it, not as cool as like a real firearm, but I feel like I designed this out of a need for me when I was getting these Cerakoted, and then I have so many parts on my gun wall, so many extra parts. I have a wall of extra parts, and now I can display them as if they were a functional firearm, maybe at SHOT Show, maybe at gun shows, but that's my need for it. And while doing that, I even designed the takedown tool, which it's almost ready. Basically, you've got a punch here to punch out the pin. Again, I said this one doesn't have a pin because you don't really need it unless you're worried about the slide coming off. You've got this tool here, boom, slide it on the FCU, and then you can pull it out. Boom. This one slides a lot because it's not a real FCU. Then you can pull it out, and it even has extra tools for punching the trigger pin out right here. So trigger pin would be right there, and you'd be able to punch that out. Lanyard so you can hold it, and then right here, this is to take down the internals for the trigger. But we'll go over that once that launches. It should be in a couple of weeks. Shouldn't be long now. But I just wanted to show you that, guys. That is the dummy FCU. We have a few ID dots, so maybe you have a bunch of these FCUs and you want to keep track of them. You can drop a little paint in those dots, but not necessary. I don't think I have a need for that, but boom. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you find other needs, other uses for it. But again, this is a professional tool / display / collectors. Keep your stuff together, bam, bam, wham. All right, guys, thank you. Again, we don't monetize. We did just hit 10,000 subscribers, I think, this morning. So feel free to share, subscribe. We're just trying to show you stuff we've got. We do have some more content coming. So thanks for tuning in.